Hello everyone and welcome back to another video and welcome to the weekly Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode reviews, and today we've got episode 5 which came out on Friday morning, and let's just get straight into talking to it. Obviously this is the second to last episode now, so everything's beginning to kick off.
In total, isn't it? Yeah. The episode is called Truth, I think. Hold on, I'm checking Disney Plus right now. I think it was called Truth because this episode was like the longest episode so far, and it was a pretty interesting episode. There's
a lot to go through, so we'll cover basically the main points because there is some things that are not exactly that important to the story. But yeah, we'll
there
just
was
go
a lot
through
of
the main
important
points.
stuff. To be fair, there was like a lot of stuff, especially with John Walker and a few other characters who reappeared and said important things.
I mean, we'll talk about non-spoilers first, and then we'll get into spoilers. But overall, the episode's good. I think in terms of development,
I think it's on par with the last episode, in my opinion.
Yeah,
at first I was thinking it's not as good, but then not as good. But like I didn't enjoy it as much. But yeah, I'd say it was on par. There's a lot of scenes in this episode that were better than last episode, in my opinion. I think
stuff
scenes
that was teased in this episode for next episode. I think next episode's obviously going to be the best out of all of them. Just because of what we're going to see, and obviously we'll cover that in a bit. But overall, this episode was very good. For the long time limit, I don't feel like it stretched too much. It didn't
didn't try and pad it out with pointless stuff. I felt like everything that happened in this episode needed to happen. Also, I liked some of the issues they sort of dealt with, especially with regards to Sam and kind of his role as potentially taking on the mantle of Captain America and all that sort of stuff.
And
I liked that they dealt with a lot of that, because obviously that's what this series will eventually build towards. So,
I think there's one thing in this episode that annoyed me, and there was it was the predictable thing that we were talking about.
That's if that's even true, but yeah, I guess that's I
don't know.
spoilers.
It's kind of leading towards it, but we'll see. But I think that's pretty much it for the non-spoiler part. So if you haven't seen it already, obviously spoiler alert, go and check it out, and then come straight back here, and we're covering all of it. So I guess let's just start from the beginning. We got a trailer for the episode last week sometime.
Was it a trailer for this episode? I mean, I guess it was. I didn't watch that though. I watched the mid-season trailer thing where they showed
I think
a bunch of old
I think it was very similar to the mid-season trailer. It was sort of the same thing. But they showed us the first scene of this episode, which is obviously the fight between John Walker, Sam
Falcon
and Bucky. Versus Sam and Bucky. So they obviously confront him. That was really good. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Good. The thing I liked about it was at least it kind of reminded me of a reverse of Civil War, sort of, where not reverse of Civil War, but it was kind of like a different version of Civil War when Cap and Bucky fight Iron Man, except it was obviously Sam and Bucky fighting Iron Man, so the new Captain America and Bucky fighting.
It was even the same sort of industrial scenery in the background as well. So I think they were very much trying to mirror that last fight in Civil War. And
even the music, the music on that scene was some of it was taken straight out of Civil War, which I thought was interesting. And loads of the way that fight was kind of choreographed, it just reminded me of Civil War, which obviously Civil War's top 5 MCU movies in my opinion. So I'm happy anytime they reference that. But that scene was really cool, and obviously Sam and Bucky beat John Walker. What else is going to happen?
There's a bit of development there where they break his arm. I thought that part was cool, where they snap the shield off his arm and sort of break it, and then also the part where Falcon's wings get ripped off.
And obviously John was going to do the same thing he did to that other guy in the other episode to Sam.
I think that's sort of mirroring Civil War a bit as well, because don't you think when he rips Falcon's wings off, it's kind of like when Captain America rips Iron Man's heart, arc reactor out of his...
and he'd hit his helmet off or whatever.
And then grabs the arc reactor. But
that's true, to be fair. But I thought... And then obviously Bucky kind of gets the shield and gives it to Sam. And John Walker's just kind of lying there, all depressed. Because obviously we do see that the death of Battlestar kind of took a toll on him. And even like his mental state isn't like where it should be right now. Like he's really messed up over that, which I'm thinking about it. Like if I'm being realistic, I know a lot of people don't like him because he's not Steve Rogers, and people are like acting super childish about it, like sending him death threats and stuff. But I think that John Walker might be my favorite character in this whole show, aside from Zemo. Obviously, Zemo's not in this episode as much, but like aside from Zemo, I think that John Walker might be my most like the character I have the most interest in this show.
I think you know why? Because I can see that. I can definitely see that because in terms of one of my favorite characters, he's definitely up there. I think it's because everything that's done with Sam and Bucky is like typical expectation. They haven't done anything that's like sort of so far out of reach.
Yeah, maybe it's because he's like different. Yeah, he's like a different sort of character. Yeah.
And it's cool to see Sam and Bucky's development, but we already knew it was coming and we already expected it. And
we kind of have a general idea of what direction that's going to take.
Yeah, and how it's going to end. But with John Walker, we didn't know what to expect coming in. Some people had a rough idea that he would turn into the US agent, and I think a lot of people did have that idea in terms of comic fans.
I knew that was going to happen. Like, I thought that was like really obvious, but
people probably thought they were going to take some stupid approach to it. Which the approach they've actually taken to it is actually a lot better with the death of his best friend and stuff.
They didn't just do that thing that I hate that the MCU does sometimes, where they'll have a twist villain, but then as soon as the twist happens, they just completely like switch, and their personality just becomes like completely different. I like that they've actually like built layers with John Walker and they're actually doing things interesting with him, which I think the scene after, obviously we get a bit of stuff before that, but I think the scene after that where the next most interesting scene to me was when John was in court with the senator, and he was trying to like kind of argue his case, basically saying that I followed orders for my whole life, and now obviously I do one thing wrong and I'm getting everything taken away from me, which I guess kind of offers interesting kind of commentary on soldiers and like how they're taught to follow orders and all that sort of stuff, and then they make one wrong move and everything can fall apart.
And I think that's a good contrast with Isaiah as well, where there's like some stuff like that, sort of similar stuff happened to him, but it was for a different, like, it was because they were racist instead of actually like him doing something wrong. And also I think another thing with John Walker's character, which is good, is that there's a lot of contrast to Steve as well, whereas there's like where you can easily compare the way that Steve reacted when Bucky dies, or supposedly dies when he falls off the train in Captain America 1, and then how John Walker reacts. I think it's very good that they've made John Walker's character so you can make those comparisons. I think that's a really good thing as well. I think that's why it's really like, because it emphasizes the fact that he's not Steve and he's never going to be Steve, sort of thing.
Yeah, and he's like a different character. And also I liked that at the end when they kind of say to him that, obviously don't do anything else stupid, otherwise like if you keep trying to like degrade us or whatever, then we're going to take away your even more of your rights, basically take away more of your life. And the John Walker's just kind of walking away, just like he doesn't care anymore, because he's pretty much like, you've taken away everything from me, because he's pretty much lost everything, because he's lost his like support from the military, he's lost Lamar, which obviously Lamar was like his best friend, which we see in the scene afterwards when he's with Lamar's family. He's lost his like role as Captain America, like his whole life's basically just come tumbling down. So I liked that we got to see kind of that development with John Walker. And also I liked that they're kind of playing on the whole thing that, you know how they said that the super soldier serum like amplifies whatever you're like. So obviously John Walker's not a great person, like, and even like mentally it seems like he's not in a great place. I like how they had him be really angry and really kind of like shouty and that sort of thing. It's just like an amplified version of how he was at the beginning.
It shows how he can't keep control, how the original Captain America would.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of stuff with John, and I think did we get the next are the next two scenes about John? Because I think it switches. Well,
we had the scene after the court scene, which obviously was the thing that everyone was waiting for, with the famous actor or actress in this case, who showed up and played an important role with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was she came in and played. I don't remember the character's name. I don't know like her secret identity name, but in the comics that's Madam Hydra, like a version of Madam Hydra.
Like she shortened it to Val basically. But,
yeah. But yeah, that was the. I think it was something Valentina De Fontaine. Or something like that. I can't remember, but in the comics she's Madam Hydra, so I guess that's good. And also she at one point I think she worked for Hammer, which obviously was not the Iron Man 2 like stupid not that Hammer, the one that Norman Osborn makes in the comics where the Dark Avengers and all that come about. So hopefully that's setting up Dark Avengers. And
I think it's interesting that they're planting these seeds. I think they could take this in a good direction, depending on what happens in the next episode. Obviously, we got an end credit scene at the end of this episode as well, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, obviously we know what that's teasing, that John Walker's obviously going to turn evil. And not evil, or like, I don't know. I don't know about evil. I think he'll just sort of try
maybe
and
like
do
an
the right
anti-hero
thing,
sort of
but
thing.
do
So
it in
he's
like in a brutal
like
way.
how the Punisher is sort of, but not as violent. Because I don't think they're going to go as violent as Punisher was in the Netflix series, or just how violent Punisher is in general. I don't even know. Do you think like the Punisher would work today? Because
I don't know. I've only seen like Punisher and Daredevil. I haven't actually seen him properly in his own show, so I'm not.
Because I feel
sure.
Not even like in his own show, like just in the comics. Because I don't know. I feel like
because
people
he's
are so
really
like
brutal. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
people are so
in the
sensitive
MCU,
to like
I don't
gun
think
violence.
he'd work properly.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
People are like so sensitive to gun violence and stuff these days that it's like if you try to do a character like that, I don't even know if people would. That's
what's kind of worrying about Deadpool. But yeah, that's like a different.
Deadpool, I think they'll just keep him the same, but I don't know. I hope they bring Punisher back at some point, and I'd like to see a character like John Walker interact with Punisher. That'd be interesting. But
yeah, I mean, maybe. So I would like to see a Dark Avengers thing, like if they're planting these seeds now.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, we could get like maybe Norman Osborn comes and gets the Iron Patriot suit. There's like loads of possibilities.
Could you imagine? That'd be so sick. I wouldn't even mind if they did that instead of making him Green Goblin.
Yeah, because obviously we've seen Green Goblin before, so I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they did like go straight to Iron Patriot, because they're doing everything different with this version of Spider-Man. So
yeah.
But we could get like, I don't know. I mean, this is like wishful thinking, but obviously with Dark Avengers, Dark Hawkeye is one of them, and we get Bullseye as Dark Hawkeye, maybe. I don't know. But obviously we know that with the Dark Avengers, like the main leader for them was Norman, then US agent afterwards. So maybe John will. We'll see how
this plays out. I mean, the next scene after that is, I think it cuts between some point to the part where Bucky goes to Sokovia to go and see Zemo and like get him arrested basically by the.
Was that before or after the part where Torres gets the wings? A lot happened in this episode, and obviously we saw it a couple of days ago, so we don't really completely remember.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure because I think it does switch quite a bit, and I don't really exactly remember the order, but it's it doesn't really matter about the order.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll talk about it like.
So basically, Bucky goes to Zemo. We'll talk about that first, and then we'll talk about John Walker, and then we'll talk about Torres. Bucky goes to Zemo, pretends like he's going to shoot him, and then just like sort of doesn't shoot him, and
drops the bullets in front of him, and then the Dora Milaje come and kind of.
I think it was a nice ending for Zemo. He was like sort of
courteous about it. Like he was like, fine, like I understand why.
He goes, I forgive you, James, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know what he's forgiving him for. I don't think he's really done anything bad, to be honest, but I don't know.
Did he say that?
He said something like, so he sounded like he was forgiving him, but I don't think he said something.
He basically said, "See you later, Bucky, because I'm going to jail now." That's basically what he said. And then
an end for
they said
Zemo,
they'll take him to the raft. That was interesting.
I mean, a lot of people are speculating that he's going to be in the raft with a lot of other villains, and it could end in like just like a big breakout sort of thing.
You think it'll be like in Spider-Man when when
the Sinister Six break out?
When the Sinister Six break out of Rikers, that'd be pretty sick.
I mean, when they mentioned the raft, that's sort of the first thing I thought back to, because I didn't even, I forgot that it was in Civil War and they stuck them all in there at the end of Civil War.
It wasn't the raft inspired by PS4, I think it was Rikers in there. That's like
it was,
that's like a different universe,
It's got a similar sort of vibe to it though.
But yeah, that was a satisfying ending to Zemo's kind of story, the show. And obviously he was in Sokovia looking at the memorial thing, because he was saying to Sam and Bucky in the other episode, like, I assume he didn't go to the memorial, like, thing, I guess, and they said no, and obviously he was there, and Bucky went and found him, and the Dora Milaje take him, and then they say that you'll want to lay low in Wakanda for now, probably because he broke Zemo out of jail.
Yeah, no one's happy with him.
Yeah. And then
he asked them for a favor, which leads to something at the end of the episode, which we'll talk about. But
which I knew that was going to happen from like.
I think we both knew, and a lot of people knew because we'll talk about it at the end. But because there's still like some spoilers. I mean, but yeah, I think that was a decent end for Zemo. I think it would have been nice to see him put the mask on a bit more, do a bit more. That
mask was there for promotional material. Like, I knew that was going to happen. I knew it.
It did look good. It did look good, though. It did look good.
Yeah, it did look good. But I knew it would be there just for posters, promotional material, and he'll wear it in one scene and never wear it again. I knew that was going to happen, and it's disappointing. But it's not like that big of a deal.
It was still a very good character, one of the best.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd take like a good character, a satisfying character arc that's consistent with Civil War, than him just wearing a purple mask and morphing into some version that's like identical to the comics all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I'm happy they didn't kind of devalue the Civil War Zemo.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say we won't be seeing Zemo anytime soon, like in anything.
Yeah, and except for maybe a post-credit scene or something.
Possibly, maybe if we don't know. But I guess next thing. Oh well, we don't really know the proper order, but let's just go through it. So we've
had a very busy and strange week. So
yeah, it's been a weird week. So we're gonna try and get next week's episode out for like the day it comes out,
if we can,
because it's the season finale. Yeah, obviously if we can. But yeah, I guess next thing is let's just go through the Torres thing. I mean, Sam's holding the shield and says to Torres,
it's like on a table, and obviously he gives Torres the broken wings, and Torres like they have like a conversation. Cut a long story short, Torres says to him, you forgot the wings as Falcon's walking away with the shield, and Falcon says keep him. Yeah, which I thought that scene was sick, because obviously we know that Falcon's going to become Captain America, and Torres will eventually become Falcon. So
I think the thing is with Torres and Falcon, and like even in the comics, I find it confusing because it's basically two Falcons. Because Sam's Captain America, but he still has wings, so he's technically kind of Falcon.
They can still fly, I guess. Like they can both fly together, I guess.
I don't understand how they're going to make that, because I feel like at the end of this show, actually, I think they'll make Torres his own sort of superhero, then like on his own, and then obviously he'll keep Falcon and Winter Soldier as like a duo. But
unless they make like three kind of like how it was before, except Sam's Captain America now, Torres is Falcon, and Bucky's still Bucky.
Yeah,
but, maybe they'll do that. But
who knows? Yeah, maybe.
The thing I thought was interesting is I don't know if like maybe this is just me like not thinking about it properly, but why does Sam, like especially with what they set up towards like later in the episode, why does Sam still need the shield? Because he used his wings as shields before, like to stop bullets from hitting him and stuff. And the thing that we were talking about earlier when Bucky asked for a favor, obviously, which comes later in the episode, but I guess I'll talk about it now since it makes sense. Obviously Sam's suit, which is from Wakanda, so if that's made of vibranium, then would he really need a shield?
I think it's like safe to say the wings are made of vibranium at least.
Yeah, would he need a shield? I mean, aside from to like throw it, would he really need a shield to like protect himself?
I think the shield is more the thing where they've been emphasizing the whole show that it means something. Like that shield means something. Yeah, it's more
like a symbol than an actual
than like having like a practical use. But I don't know, I feel like if we, like, obviously we're going to see him become Captain America. I don't know why I'm saying if we. But when we do see him become Captain America, and if Bucky stays
Imagine it's just not like a Captain America suit in there. There's just something else in that case.
Yeah, that'd be stupid.
That'd be funny to me, but yeah, it would be stupid. It wouldn't really make... Actually, I don't know. It depends on what it is.
It is going to be a suit. We'll talk about why at the end, but it is going to be a suit. I think if we do see Bucky and Falcon stay as like partners, I think it'll work out. You know, when like they just switch between who holds the shield, not like switch, but like in combat. I mean, like so you know how like when in Civil War again in the final fight when they're like throwing the shield at Iron Man, they're both catching it, throwing it back, sort of thing. I think it'll work like that throughout, like when we see them in the future again with most of their combat situations. with the shield. But even then, Bucky doesn't really need the shield because he has a vibranium arm and he's a super soldier as well. So I don't know.
But then obviously we have with the shield. Speaking of that, Sam takes it and he goes to see Isaiah, which that was a good scene. I thought that was a really. I think that was meant to be. It was.
They were talking about tear-jerking scenes before this, like the director. But I think it was either that scene or it was the one with Lamar's family. But I think it was more the Isaiah thing. Good to see him again. It's good to get more backstory on him, like what they actually did.
And obviously they had the whole thing where he kind of like felt that he was betrayed by his country and all that kind of stuff. And he says like, no black man will ever be Captain America, even if they could be, no self-respecting black man ever would be, or something like that. I thought that was pretty interesting with Isaiah's character that they did that, where he's kind of like, he kind of feels that even though he did so much for his country, that they kind of betrayed him and put him in jail and experimented on him because they didn't want a black person to kind of be the icon of America like how Steve was. Because he even says like, which is almost like Aryan sort of imagery where he says like blue eyes, blonde head, like perfect white man sort of imagery, which is what they were saying.
And Sam even mentions Steve in the scene, saying Steve wouldn't do that. Like if he knew, he would have
Steve wasn't want to put you in jail. Yeah. Which I thought that was good. That was a good scene. Obviously, I've got a feeling you're gonna have those like anti SJW like weird like people on the internet who are gonna start saying, "Oh, it's just forcing racial politics and stuff." I mean, the whole of the Captain America movies are about politics.
Yeah, like we said this in one of the first episodes, but yeah.
Watch Winter Soldier again if you're saying that, and then tell me it's not about politics. But that scene with Isaiah was good.
And then after that, I don't even remember what happens after that, but it was sort of
they had
the boat stuff. Like that was like a really big part of this
Bucky
episode.
Were trading with the shield too, where they were like throwing
That's
it
like
at the
at the end. That was my favorite scene of the episode. Like
not that part. The part where they were just like that part was that was one of the best scenes of the episode. The part that you're talking about. I'm about the bit where they're just like kind of throwing the shield and talking to each other. And Bucky obviously apologizes to Sam and all that stuff.
Oh right, yeah, that's like after the boat part. I think the boat part was really good though. I think that was like it felt like it wasn't needed, but they set it up, and I feel like it was a part of their character arc, like away from the superhero life sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's like showing what they're sort of doing in their own time, and I thought that was.
I thought one like really funny thing in the episodes when Bucky starts flirting with Sam's sister. I thought that was.
Oh yeah, then Sam's like, "Don't flirt with my sister." Yeah.
And then Sam starts giving like dirty looks and stuff. But yeah, overall that part was really good. And then Bucky's sleeping on the sofa and Sam's nephew's playing with the shield and stuff, and then they drop it. And I thought all that stuff was really good. And I think they finally finished that boat sort of thing. So next week, it's just going to be pure like action, just go like non-stop.
I mean, I'm wondering how long next week's episode's going to be, because they do have not a fair amount. Like, it's not as much as WandaVision, I don't think, where they had like they just left too much open. They just didn't give.
They don't have too much to wrap up here because they've set most of this stuff up.
But the good thing is, since this episode, like the episodes of the show are longer than WandaVision, I feel like the ending might be a bit more satisfying because they have time to kind of actually do everything slowly and take their time with it, instead of WandaVision where it felt like they've set up so much and then the end was just like one big rush to the finish line sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think with Falcon the Winter Soldier, it's always been very consistent in getting straight to the point. There's no like BS
it's
just, cut around it.
I feel like in terms of filler, the show doesn't have a lot of it, which I really like.
That's a good thing. I mean,
filler can be good in shows like I don't know, like this is a good example. We like in Dragon Ball Z, how they had like the stupid episode where Goku was like trying to learn how to drive a car and all that. Like,
that was kind of fun. That is fine, but yeah,
it's like fun, but obviously it's not necessary.
But those sort of shows have a lot of time to do that sort of stuff. These shows don't.
Yeah,
like they don't. They're very limited to what they can do.
Yeah. And, like something like Bad Batch has filler, I wouldn't be surprised because
it's got a lot of time to do it.
From what we're hearing, it's like a lot.
There'll be like a few episodes where like there'll be filler, but this show hasn't done it, and this show's done very well in what they end with on like one episode. They pick up straight into the next episode. Like at the start of this episode, they picked up straight with Captain America killing someone.
This feels more like a movie that's been chopped up into parts than WandaVision did. WandaVision felt more like a TV show. This is more a movie that's been chopped into a bunch of parts, and you just like you can mash it together and make a movie. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind. Like, if this was all together as a movie, I wouldn't mind watching it.
It'd be very long, but yeah, I wouldn't mind watching it.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind watching it. But I think what was after that? So we had the boat scene, and then the stuff. Then we could talk about the stuff with the flag smashers, because there wasn't much this episode. Basically, that they planned to sort of. Yeah, thankfully. We weren't like they weren't in this episode like a lot. They were in there for like one scene, but you weren't missing them at all.
Like every time, even when it cut back to them, I was like, "Oh, great, we're back here again." Like, I don't know. I feel like it's too late to salvage those villains now. Like, they're the standout weakness of the show.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
I think, there's such a weakness that they had to send Batroc the Leaper to go and help them.
Yeah, like, I mean, that scene was a bit, like...
I think that was the thing with Sharon as well, so we could talk about that. Sharon sends Batroc to go and help the Flag Smashers, which doesn't really make much sense in terms of what the hell she's been doing the whole time.
Well, it depends, because is she supposed to be the power broker or not?
Yeah, but the power broker's supposed to be after the Flag Smashers, so what the hell's going on?
But they don't have the super soldier serum anymore, though, so would they still be after them?
They just have it in them, so they want to basically kill them. Oh, one interesting thing we need to pick up, we need to mention, because we haven't mentioned it, is Zemo says to Bucky that you need to kill them, basically. You need to kill the Flag Smashers.
Yeah. Because obviously Sam tried to reason with her and it didn't work, so now you gotta go and
yeah,
kill him,
so basically. I think that'll be a big part of next week's episode. But yeah, with the Flag Smashers, they send Batroc, and then we see Sharon basically sending Batroc there, which doesn't make much sense considering she was meant to be working with Sam and all that. Yeah. It's the same point we've been making, that Sharon's whatever they need her to be. She's not her own character.
She's not her. Yeah, she's just like, her character is not consistent at all in any of these movies. Like her working with the villain now, pretty much. I mean, then again, I saw some people saying that maybe Sharon said, because also she said she broke him out of prison in Algeria or whatever. Like, okay, where did that come from? Like, if she's trying to get back into the government's good books, that's not a good way to do it. By breaking prisoners out of like foreign prisons or whatever. But there's also the thing with the fact that she broke him out in the first place. That's like not really what I would have thought that Sharon would have done, like the Civil War version of Sharon, where, as we said, like she's basically
and his reason for like wanting to work with them as well, kind of, because Sharon would have known the reason, because he says like 2 or 3 times, "I want to kill Falcon."
But then again, like I saw some people saying as well that maybe he's like betraying her or whatever. Like she sent him to do one thing, and he's like, "I don't care about that. I just want to kill Falcon." I don't know. I guess we'll see that. She wouldn't be helping the Flag Smashers because she was going against them one episode. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's like going to be one of the main problems of this like whole show at the end.
Unless they pick up on it in the next episode.
Yeah, unless they kind of explain. They will explain it. I feel like she could be a sort of end thing, like where she's like.
I mean, she could turn evil. To be fair, didn't that happen at one point in the comics?
I don't know. I don't really like know a character that much. Her character's never been very interesting to me.
Yeah, I think it did, but I don't know for sure. I think she. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah, and then we get that, and then pretty much we get the part where they go to the UN meeting and try and stop it, because basically, I guess we need to fill this part of the story in. They've evacuated the immigration camps, and they're basically sending all the immigrants back from wherever they don't really explain it, wherever they came from. 20,000 immigrants, I think they said that it's going to be sort of moved somewhere. They really
need some excuse to have a UN meeting so that the Flag Smashers can do something there. That's basically what the plot is.
And then they infiltrate it. That's sort of that. That's when, like, you know, what's going to kick off, like, next episode. So it'd probably pick up from there. And then we get, I think, what I would think is the best part of this episode and one of my favourite parts of the whole show. The
Rocky style training montage.
Yeah. The training with the shield and stuff, and then progressively he gets better with it. I think what that reminded me of is Rocky's a very good example, and I think I don't know why it reminded me of this, but it reminded me of, you know, the scene where because before that Bucky and Falcon are talking. And Bucky sort of says to him, like, basically, just sort of get ready sort of thing, or like train.
Yeah, and also Sam says that even I like the line where Sam said, like, what was the point of all that struggling if you're not going to fight, like, afterwards or something like that.
Yeah, and then Bucky says, I'm getting on my plane home, call me when you got more updates and get training sort of thing. And then,
which I think that's good as well, that they kind of didn't do the thing where, like, where Sam would just accept that a black man can't be Captain America until he's forced to do it or whatever. I like that Sam was like, no, there's like, I don't see the point of people like Isaiah struggling and kind of having a hard time with stuff if I'm not going to kind of take over from that and fight, which I thought was a good way of kind of carrying on that character, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and that scene, what I was going to say is that scene reminded me of, in Spider-Verse when Miles goes to get his costume at the end, and like he jumps off the building and stuff. I don't know why that scene just reminded me of that. And then I thought that was just like a really good scene. And then Sam actually looks like sick with the shield as well, like as a character, and it doesn't really look out of place or anything. Like obviously with John Walker, it looked a bit out of place at the start. And
I mean, that was kind of the point because of something else that happens later in this as well.
Yeah, and then that's not the end scene, but that's like the second end scene. Then the other scene is that Bucky gives earlier in the show, Bucky gives Sam a case from Wakanda, and they basically show the case for the whole episode without like him opening it, and everyone's like thinking the same thing, just open the damn case and show us what's in there. And then he opens it at the end. They obviously don't show the shot, like they don't show what's in the case. The shot's like from behind the case, and then he sort of smiles, and that's when the UN stuff's going on. So, and
then of course the episode just ends there where Sam opens the case and looks at it, which we could most likely assume is Sam's Captain America suit.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about this in a bit, but I think I think this is going to pick up directly, like next episode, it's going to show the suit instantly, I think it's going to cut into that sort of thing. But it's 100% Sam's Captain America suit. It can't be anything.
It has to be,
can't be like a shield or anything, because he's obviously got the shield. It can't. What else are Wakanda going to make for him?
Maybe another shield.
Yeah, like two shields. Yeah.
No, I thought at first, when Bucky asked him like for a favor, I thought maybe a possibility could be like, obviously he could have made them a suit, but like if they wanted to kind of do some like twisty thing where they didn't want like the obvious answer, maybe they would have made Bucky like a second shield or something, and they would have had like one shield each, and they could have.
I don't think they'll do that. That's just going to be like,
I don't know.
Weird.
I knew they wouldn't do that because obviously it's obvious that the suit would be a thing. But it's like, like maybe that would be an interesting thing to like see visually. But it doesn't make any sense. But I don't know. I thought maybe that'd look kind of cool.
I think it's like appropriate to mention this now. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear like what the toy leaks had to say.
It's not even a leak because they officially released these pictures.
Promotional pictures have said it. He's got a Captain America suit, and we've seen everything.
Yeah,
we've seen the suit, the wings.
Like
we've seen it in the suit,
like Captain America's thing. Yeah.
They probably made him another Red Wing as well. To be fair, that's probably
they did. Point. Yeah, because the has what was I going to say? The toy, like I think it was the Marvel Select one. It had a Red Wing that's like removable, but also, maybe that's like Bucky's thing. He's like, obviously he said like, I'm sorry about Red Wing, and Sam's like, no, you're not. Well, Bucky basically gave him back Red Wing, so I guess that's...
Yeah, I think there will be a Red Wing, and then there'll be a reference to like
some sort of joke,
Bucky hating him, and then like giving
but then also this is the first episode to have a mid-credit scene.
And it wasn't pointless like the WandaVision one, the first WandaVision one.
Yeah.
We'll ignore that. I mean,
they didn't call him John Bono or anything like that at the end of this. Like they did
John Bono. I think this kind of reminded me of Iron Man 1, where he's making the suit in the cave, but it was like he's making another shield in the warehouse. And
that was another one of my favourite scenes of the episode, because obviously we know now that he's probably going to end up spray painting his Captain America suit black, and then he'll become the US agent by the next episode, which I think is sick.
Yeah, really and I think one of my favourite things that came along with that post-credit scene was the memes where like people were saying as soon as John
he's going to throw the shield once, it's going to snap in half.
Yeah. And I
thought that shield looked sick though. How he's like welding the badges onto it.
I don't get what they're going to actually do. Like how's that shield going to work? 'Cause obviously it's not vibranium.
What's it made of?
Exactly. I don't think they'll explain it though. I think you'll just have it, sort of thing.
Yeah, but it won't be able to like ricochet off things, will it? Because it just looks like a flat metal piece.
Exactly. That's where all the memes are coming from. It's just going to hit the wall and fall onto the floor.
And it won't be able to like... maybe
it's made of vibranium and Val sort of supplied this, maybe.
Yeah,
Because
Also,
obviously he wouldn't be doing it for no reason.
Yeah. I'm interested to see why it's that color as well, because I thought that they'd make it black, like how
it is the same color as the normal Captain America shield, but you said, I feel like it'll just be spray painted because another toy leak. Spoiler alert! If you don't want to hear this, U.S. agent figure.
I didn't see the shield. Like what shield?
There was no shield in the pack because it's a Marvel Legends packaging. There wasn't, from what I saw. But you know, with Marvel Legends, sometimes they keep their accessories at the bottom of the box, so you can't.
Yeah,
really
like
see
how
it.
they did with the worthy Captain America.
Yeah, like they did with that. But there was no shield in sight, sort of there. It was just him in like the Captain America suit that he has, but it was just black. But I'm not sure. I think it's good that we're seeing a US agent, though. This definitely confirmed that we're seeing him next episode. I think
I'm excited to see that because I think he's a pretty interesting character. So
yeah, in the comics in general. So and
even in the MCU, they've done a great job of bringing that character to life.
So that's pretty much it. So obviously, from next episode,
I guess
we know what to expect.
This will be following WandaVision's formula, probably. How it'll have like one post-credit scene for the second last episode, and then.
I'm very excited to see these post-credit scenes because I actually have no idea of what they could be.
Yeah, and I've got a feeling one of them, the next episode, will set up season 2 if that exists, and then another one will probably set up something else like I don't know, Armor Wars, Secret Invasion. I don't know. It could be anything.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the other Disney Plus series.
We've already had a Secret Invasion tease, so I hope it's not another one. Not gonna lie, because I'm not really interested in that show that much. But
I would be if it wasn't for the way they've messed up the Skrulls in the MCU. But I don't know.
But I think that's pretty much it, and it's been a good episode. To be fair, it's been
a good show so far.
It's been a good show, yeah. I definitely think this is already top of WandaVision because you know the ending's not going to be stupid at this point.
Well, I don't want to rule anything out yet, but because I thought WandaVision was really good until that last episode.
I don't know. I still think it was good. It was just the ending was a bit disappointing.
The episode, like the last 2 episods of WandaVision were a bit wonky, to be fair. But this is shorter, so I
think this show not like it hasn't had much room to create theories and stuff. I think that's been a good thing for this episode.
I think this is more tightly put together than WandaVision is. WandaVision, it was just like loose in a way, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I think overall, the show has been really good so far, and hopefully it's a good ending next week. We'll defo 100% try and push for the next week's episode to be out for Friday
or Saturday, the latest,
or Saturday morning. Yeah. But yeah, so make sure you stick around for that, and thank you for everyone who's watched so far. And I mean, let us know what you thought of the episode as well in the comments.
Yeah. Be sure to hit the like button as well to share the video around YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Be sure to check out our Instagram link in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. See ya.